Hi, welcome back to Outdoor Gear and Skills. I just want to do a quick review on Stealth Angel 8-in-1 kits. These have been around for quite a while, but it's something that I got my hands on a little over a year ago. I think they hit me up on Instagram and I clicked it and thought it kind of looked cool for some of the stuff in it. And I wanted to look and kind of see, what the quality is of these items for about $20. StealthAngelSurvival.com. So they're calling this kit one of the 8 tools. They're saying it's waterproof. I haven't dunked it yet, but I would definitely say, looking at it, that it is at the minimum water resistant. That would be important to me because I live in Oregon and it rains a lot, and I try to keep my gear as dry as possible. I don't like leaving things out and letting them get damaged or rusted or anything like that. But at the very minimum, I would say that this is safe in that category. One of the drawbacks of it is sometimes these little latches right here are a little hard to open. I keep my fingernails pretty short and sometimes that's a little difficult. If my fingers were really cold, this might be a little difficult to open. So I am addressing that with another option that I'll get to in another video. One of the first things that caught my attention when I saw this on Instagram was the tactical pen. So for me, this as a writing implement, not really my favorite. I've kept a daily journal for 29 years, and I prefer the Pilot G2 gel pens. My handwriting's a lot smoother with the gel pens versus a ballpoint. But when it comes to tactical advantages, the Pilot pen is not even built for that. So that's why this is in here. It's got a really sharp glass breaker right there that would be really good. To me, the reason I looked at this is I've done martial arts a lot of pressure points, Kubotan work. So with that, where I've got both a really sharp glass breaker point as well as a little more blunt pen tip, that was really good. A lot of these run for $20 to $40, so I figured that might be worth the $20 price tag just to get that pen. So that's got that in there. This flashlight, I bought similar flashlights to these. It was called G2. I got it out of St. George, Utah about 7 or 8 years ago, before these kits really started hitting the market from what I saw. But the thing I like about this flashlight, it runs off a AA battery, so it doesn't have the cost and the low run time that the lithium batteries do, like my Surefire flashlights. It's not the tactical flashlight that a Surefire is, but from strictly a flashlight, you can see here, I think it's got a really good light right there. It does telescope a little bit, so I can fine tune that. But I think that's a good light. I've used these a lot. I have another one that is on my backpack at all times that I take with me. I can get it through the airport and things like that. So it's a really good flashlight to have. And again, I'm probably looking at $8 to $10 in value on a flashlight like that. It also came with a backup flashlight. Photon, I believe, was the brand I was buying with these years and years ago, and they were about $20 themselves. This one, it's got kind of a smaller light there. These aren't meant to be, great things for going out in the woods or whatever. It's more going to be to, look at your map or whatever it is and things like that. If I were hand building one, I'd probably use one of these with a red bulb so that it's not messing up with your night vision and that kind of thing. But, it looks like just like the ones that I bought. Most of these are generic items or no name brand items, but still looks just like the ones that I was paying $20 for. It also comes with a liquid filled compass, which is important to me. I moved from Utah to Oregon 3.5 years ago. In Utah, I always knew my directions. I put the Wasatch Mountains on my right and I was always looking north. When I came here, I got lost because there's so many rolling hills, you don't have line of sight. There's not really good geographical markers. If I'm in Roseburg in town, I use I-5 as my marker to kind of tell me where north is. But when I get out here and I'm kind of out on the trail and things like that, this would be really invaluable, I think. Came with an aluminum whistle, which I think is good. I can whistle, but if you're really lost and you're trying to whistle and you're getting tired and all that, you're not going to be as effective. Or if you fall and hit your face or anything like that, I think this would be a lot more effective. Even if I was hurt a little bit, I could probably blow this whistle better than I could just trying to whistle myself. So I'll just give you a little example of that. Try not to blow anyone's ears out, but this would be a great little whistle. I think it's one of the better ones that I've seen, and does really well in this kit. Came with a pretty thick ferrule striking rod and a little striker right here. I'm glad it has its own striker. I don't like to use my knives to hit my fire strikers. I don't want to dull my blade. I don't want to burn my blade. I don't want to flip it over and use the backside and just mess things up. So I'm glad it has its own. It's got a little can opener on it, but it's a nice thick ferrule rod with a nice thick handle here, and puts off good sparks once I hit it where the paints come off. So right there, that ferrule rod, I'm going to get a lot of use out of that, and that to me would be worth at least $10, that right there. And then the last thing they put in here is one of these little kind of multi-tool things. It's a little bit smaller than a credit card, but it's got a little can opener here. It's got a little tool that you can open up wing nuts, little hex drivers on there. It's a little bit of a rugged thing. It's not really a saw. You're definitely not cutting down a tree, but you might get through a little bit of a branch. I probably, in all reality, have a knife on me that would cut through a branch more than this would. But this would be really good kind of from an urban standpoint for cutting open boxes, things like that. Or as a last ditch, self-defense to give you, something like that. So for $20, I definitely think even being knockoff items or generic items, that this kit is worth it. The question really becomes, is this as is great for being out in the wilderness, out in the forest, that kind of thing? Is it better for urban? And that's one of the questions that I'll be addressing on a future video. Thanks for tuning in. Hope everyone's safe and happy. Come back and check out our next video. Thanks.